Hello, everybody. This is Mike from the Fresse podcast. Just as a quick pre-warning, there is some discussion of the Amal and Tristan Archer situation in this podcast towards the end. If you're not comfortable with listening to this, we completely understand that. Thank you for supporting the podcast. The next episode will be in a few days' time, which will be the WXW World Tag Team Festival preview. Thank you very much and enjoy the show.
Hallo und herzlich willkommen zum Auf die Fresse, the WXW Review podcast in German. I'm in Hamilton, joined as always by El Hijo de El Tercero Jr. Mike Kilby. Mike, how's it going?
I'm very good, thank you. How are you?
Not too bad. Of course, we are creeping up to World Tag Team Festival season. This time next week, if I'm not packed, I'm in deep trouble. But yeah, for those wondering why we're not talking about Timothy Thatcher, a few technical issues, so we're going to be pushing that episode back a little bit later in the year. Maybe a Christmas special, who knows? But yeah, we've got one WXW show to talk about since we're in the once a month schedule. But yeah, I guess a couple of bits were dropped after we last recorded. That whole, the shotgun vlog after Chocolate for Top. Yeah, kind of like a really weird turn to the left, like the whole.
You do realise what we've done, Ian?
Go on.
We've just gone, Tim, and then we've not delivered.
Oh well.
Nobody. I don't know anybody who does that. But
yeah, I mean, be a nice little Christmas present, I guess.
Yeah, exactly. He's worth waiting for. He's worth waiting for.
But yeah, after Shock at the Top, a few little bits and pieces. So they WXW decided to do like a restraining order thing, which was that Owen Hart back in the Attitude Era did the whole temporary restraining order stuff. Basically, Maggot pissed at Rob and Christopher Forberg, threatened to go after him. Now here's your restraining order. That led to Maggot offering a match with the temporary restraining order on the line. Basically, Maggot had to beat a member of High Performer Limited, and we did get a match with Forberg at Tag Festival. If Maggot lost, he's done. We'll cover that in a minute, but that didn't quite happen, which a couple of questions there, but yeah, plans change. Paige Tahani explained why he joined High Performer Limited. We saw Chocolate at the top. Basically, fed up with people taking his wins. Of course, short because he won and walked out in his own power, which the last few open house and shows he's either won and been hurt or lost and walked out. Big Bucks wanted him at World Tag Festival. Of course, we had a qualifier we'll cover. Lawrence Roman beyond pissed at Paige Tahani doing what he did, and also snuck in a rematch offer for Robert Dreisker, which we'll get to. And Leah Bloom, of course, that viral photo of him blowing his stack at Tahani at Shortcut, basically saying he felt let down, looked up to Tahani, considered him a friend. And I guess this bleeds into Wheel of Wrestling 62 from the sold out forum in Bielefeld this past Saturday. Guess before we get going, what do you think of the show overall, Mike? Because as a go home, I had issues with this show.
Yeah, I didn't think it was particularly strong, really. There wasn't any duds, really. There wasn't anything that was, overall terrible, but nothing really stood out for me. It was all fairly middle of the road, really. It was. I feel like if this had been, the Sunday morning of Tagfest, I would have been like, oh, that's a bit lower standard than normal. Bielefeld tends to get good shows as well, so I was kind of surprised. But it all felt a bit flat. Nothing really. Felt, it doesn't. It kind of felt like a few people were maybe just not quite at. They're not at match speed yet because they've just not really been working, and I think that's maybe. I think obviously that the Euros played a little bit of a part in this, but the fact that they've only had 4 shows, I think, 5 shows, I think, since Carrot it's really really hampered them. Um, and this is kind of evidence, and it does give me a little bit of nerves about the upcoming tournament because it just doesn't seem like anybody's on fire really.
Yeah, I mean, one thing that this show kind of exposed to me and exposed maybe a bit strong. If you're only doing one show a month, you develop your main event because you have to sell your tickets for those. But then
Yeah,
your mid card's kind of air, and then the undercard is like, wait, what? No, it's not me. You walk in the empty rooms like just look all over the place. I mean, we had of course two qualifiers on here for Tag Festival, and that not had to look this morning, say, okay, some of these teams, okay, they're presented as tag teams, but it's like I don't feel like we've seen that much. Bottom Flot, if you take out the non-tape shows, we've not seen them since Carrots.
yeah,
Uh, Aaliyah Bloom LSG, they were painted like, oh, we were training buddies, so we ever get kind of a pass. But as a tag team, they haven't been used together since Limbaco Bafrona in October last year. And it's not like LSG hasn't been on the shows. Big Bucks take out a pre-show win at Frankfurt 16 Carat Gold Revenge. Haven't won. Granted, Norman's been injured. But you had 3 out of 4 teams who either haven't been around or haven't been on a good run. But I digress. Pre-show we had Paul van Nima upsetting Nick Schreier just under 7 minutes. Again, decent little opener, but I don't know because obviously last time out Schreier had a tag title shot with Mike D. Uh, uh, Obviously losing to Cash and Hector, and it felt like Mike D was meant to be on the show. He pulled out injured with Danny Jones being the say late replacement in the Euro title match. This felt like a weird. I don't know because like Nema's only had one prior main roster match, and that was the one with Yokai in Hamburg, which Lavagna ran in on to set up or to hype up the Oscar match later in the night. I mean, I'm really high on Nema, but this just felt weird. Like Nick
yeah.
Schreier's the
It's
guy
not
who
somebody
keep
you would.
making like a meme out of a meme in terms of trying to make a character, Nick Hardcore. I mean, they're doing the Nick Schreier Hardcore Invitational, weekend after next Tag Festival, so they're making a character out of him, and then
Yeah,
to lose to a guy who, at least in WWE circles, is a nobody. I just really felt like, wait, what?
yeah. It didn't really make sense. I think, especially as Schreier is an established member of the roster, whereas Nima is still very much a uh, local sort of, not job guy, but he's somebody who comes in sort of as and when. He's not had
Maybe
any been.
happy shows, be pre-show
He's never been introduced really, has he? He's always he's just somebody who just comes on really, like in the same sense as Zeritis. Maybe he's not really established as a character. He is a character that appears in WXW, but he's not a cast member, if we would call it that.
Yeah, back when we
That
used to have the old roster page, it may
yeah,
be on there, but like for a
yeah.
weekend or two, that kind of thing. Yeah,
Yeah, so I think with that in mind, yeah, it's a very odd one for me.
because on the main show we opened with a Tag Fest qualifier, Aaliyah Bloom and LSG beating the Big Bucks, baby. Is that the official team name now? Was that just
I think it
Dan
might be now.
ad-libbing? Best with all third bit
Dan
date.
Dan
Mike,
does love a Dan does love an ad lib, so it's entirely possible.
but Bloom and LSG beating Duke and Harris. Again, I thought this was fine. I mean, again, when you're looking at the qualifiers, you're not really looking at teams that are like to go all the way. So I don't want to say these are cannon fodder to go out night one. The winners of this one, who are they facing? So the Big Bucks, Bloom LSG, they're taking on Young Blood. So I mean, that's going to be a tough ask. Whoever's going to win on night one. Plus, we already saw Big Bucks and Young Blood, so I guess in hindsight, there's a result probably tipped off there. Um, I thought it was fine. I mean, I don't know if it's the feed or whether it's just my ears. But I felt the sold out crowd felt a little muted.
Yeah,
Like
as I
they
say, I think
sold
it
out
was
weeks in advance. It
this
felt
this
like,
sold out before Shortcut did.
yeah,
Um, yeah, as I say, yeah, I agree. It was just very flat. I don't feel like. But then again, I don't know. There was an element of like, because this show got sold out. I don't feel like they felt that they needed to stack on it. Do you know what I mean? It was just a bit.
yeah. I
I
mean,
don't know.
I know Bielefeld always gets the festival go home shows. Like I had the Road 16 cartoon this
Yeah,
year, so I guess I don't say, oh, it's their place, but it also feels a bit like almost like Hamburg territory where you've got hot crowds. I mean, this is Bielefeld sellout streak that kind of gets underreported. It feels like
yeah,
it's like no, I'm not saying oh well people no we get shows of this caliber. I don't think this was a dirt worse show, but when you see stuff like this and it's the whole a couple of weeks out, let's fill in the blanks. And no, maybe this is probably a one off because we had effectively two summer pauses this year because of the Euros and then the usual summer break. But yeah, it just felt a bit odd. And I guess this next one kind of exemplifies that. So talked about the shotgun vlog, Margaret challenging a member of High Performer Limited to a match with a match with Forwerk Online. Of course, if Margaret lost, he'd be done with WXW. And Margaret wasn't there. They said it was due to illness. Forwerk tried to claim a forfeit win, and he'd wheeled out a crack member of High Performer Limited, El Hijo de Performante Jr., who no, that guy's got a good Rey Mysterio and John Cena cosplay for Halloween already sorted. So whoever that guy was, you all sorted for what month's time. But we did the whole you're going to be counted out, and then you're done. Like somebody, Baby Elson came out, filled in the baby exorcism. 10 seconds later, that's it. I don't know what to make of this. Like, I don't know whether this meant to be somebody else there. Things fell through, whether there's a genuine, legitimate illness. But it's like, surely if this is going to be played over Tag Festival weekend, do you not shoehorn like a squash match onto night one or even night
yeah,
two and play off a night three? Like to me, this just felt weird. Like you build this up on the vlog. If whatever happened. Can you not put this on the Tag Festival weekend? Like no, he has to have the match. You can't have a fill in. I mean, it's wrestling. You script however you want, but it just felt extremely odd how it went from that to this.
yeah. And I mean, I don't know. Is the was Allison taking over? Did that count as the match?
It seems to be painted as such. I know WXW tonight. They've pretty much said, where is it? Hit translate post. Yeah, they tweeted tonight basically saying that no, Margaret couldn't compete due to illness. Uh, Alison interrupted the count, stepped in from one of the matches, so now we've got Forberg and Margaret at some point over Tag Festival weekend, so I guess it counts.
Hmm. Yeah. So don't know. It's a curious one. It's a curious one. Yeah. For me, it didn't do anything, but I, I mean, I suppose nobody expected it. I think as soon as he came out, you're like, okay, well, it's not going to be anything, is it? So
It's going to be more of an angle than anything else. But moving on, we have the other Tag Festival qualifier of Y2 Cuties, Jacob Crane and Ava Everett. I don't know if that Ava Rage is meant to be a joke that everyone's looking over. Maybe I'm reading too much, or maybe I'm stating the obvious. They beat Rotten Flot, Nikita Charisma, and Mikhail Schenkenberg. This match on pay per view wrote, and my reviews tend to be right now what happens. This felt like a house show match, which I guess in any of if you have a crowd that at least could audibly be heard buying into it, I'd have loved this. But this felt a lot like the house show mega slam, if you want to use the Georgia phrase, kind of match. With it. Look behind you, all the shtick, but the working on the arm, and oh no, I mistake Everett's arm for my tag partner's arm. How silly can I be? That kind of stuff. On paper,
yeah,
that would have worked, but it's like in this, it just felt a bit. It just didn't land for me. I don't know why.
yeah. It was a obviously yeah. It was a very sort of comedy sort of camp sort of show, camp show match really. But again, I don't think I really expected much more beyond that. Either Crane and Everett are going to be the comedy relief, I think, during the tournament. They might squeeze through maybe onto a second night if they're lucky, but there is there is a there is a limit to that. Like these two together aren't going to be the astronauts, are they? So this is about as much as I think he was going to get out of these two.
I mean, if you remember, was it last year? Y2 Cute, wasn't it? It was meant to be. It was, yeah, meant been uh, Becca and Aaron Wall, and
Yes, it was, wasn't it? Yeah.
Jacob Crane had the whole "I'm protecting the women's tag title, women's title belt." What was it you said last year? You look so studious because you look like bloody Homer with the glasses and all that.
Yes. Yeah.
So that's something that's at least spun out of that, but they have all but said they're bringing back what's the name, Protein
The
Hulk.
hunk, the hunky, yeah, protein Hulk.
Uh,
Yeah.
he me Spoiler alert, he's been doing academy shows lately. Mark Menson, I think, M4, whatever, whichever. He's probably just going to call him Protein Hulk.
Yeah.
Nobody buys the match back from last year, so he can have a comic relief at least. But yeah, just me, it felt a bit weird. And like I said earlier, Rotten Flot, this was first booking as a team since Carrot. No Charisma worked that Hamburg show. Yeah, it just felt a bit really former tag champions. There, I'm not saying no get
I
a
think
break.
they make more sense. They make more sense than Rotten Flot, I think, because Rotten Flot's
Yeah,
not really had the
and plus
the
we've had the rain, but it's
reps.
felt a bit weird. But surely you'd have not had maybe swap the teams on, have big bucks against Y2 Cuties and Bloom and LSG beating the former tag champions. Maybe that would have worked a bit better. And at least Norman House is good for comedy stuff, you'd guess. But it is what it is. Next up, we had Lavaniel beating Max and Giovanni to retain the shotgun belt. I've not seen much of MSG, and I know he's pretty, I'd say, relatively raw. Did anybody see Lavaniel losing? I'm not saying this to be all, oh no, I can predict everything, but this just felt very much like, look, you've got Lavaniel, Matt Cardona, and a Hood main event night one tag fest. There's no in hell this was going to be a title change. And this is no people
Yeah, I think
maybe
this is where the lottery disappearing is maybe a little bit of a disappointment because that's where you have the opportunity to just bring someone like MSG in because he was the person drawn out of the lottery. Um, I mean, I suppose there is an obligation in a way to defend the shotgun title, so that's kind of the point. It's always been about lots and lots of defenses for that title.
yeah,
So I think
but
with that in mind, it's not too bad.
I mean, heck, the interval on the show, at least live at it, was it Pete Dunne, Tyler Bate from Bielefeld a few years back when they had the blockbuster set in the forum.
Yeah,
So I mean, there's a bit of a challenge, shift in quality. But going first half main event, who were beating one called Manders. Hands by far and away, this was the match of the show for me. I would say, um,
yeah.
just because of the style. Will say was a bit where I was feeling very much
I felt a bit lethargic in the middle. I thought,
yeah, and I think Ahoud was
yeah,
one spell where I thought, oh god, this is going to derail. But he picked it up, got back on track. Pretty big win over Manders. Bear in mind, the run he had, Coward semi-finalist for God's sake. Um, so I'd say that's a bit for a scalp that kind of went a bit undervalued, I guess. But yeah, who definitely going into that shocking title match with a lot more momentum. Of course, Matt Cardona never been into something before, but yeah, we've done the best to keep all three shotgun title contenders strong. So yeah, at least on paper that works. Second half we had a unadvertised bonus match. Lawrence Roman beaten Anil Marek in just under 8 minutes. Again, non-title, but you can hear what this is doing. Afterwards, you had Peter Tahani, who was called out. Then was it Marek gave Roman a belt shot. Tahani came out, and then the thing nobody expected. Ilya Bloom dressed as Hacksaw Jim Duggan with a 2x4 chasing everyone away.
and everyone going,
Oh,
"Oh, yeah."
like if I
What
was
was that about?
Oberhausen, that's me for the next for life. I'll say this now. Extreme Wrestling Party, that's been reprised
That has to be, yeah.
for the how many people watched it. I mean, Bielefeld's pretty close to Oberhausen, so I guess there'll be some crossover. The Tag Festival Prelude, we called it. Bobby Gunn and Stephanie Mays, they're now going by the name Fighting Spirit,
Yeah.
beating Yuto Nakashima and Oscar Youngblood, again, just under 10 minutes. Again,
I
thought
thought
this
this
was
was
fine.
good. I liked that
Uh,
one.
I liked how the finish came out of nowhere. Like, too often you get the whole
Yeah,
pattern of you have your big moves and all you're not going to win off that. Well, this was pretty much a roll up finish. So great. You telling everyone stay alert. Don't just wait out and sit in your hands till everyone hits the big moves.
Yeah, I actually think this was my favourite of the night. Actually, I thought it was for pretty much the same reasons as you just said there. I liked how it kind of there was no it was the finish was completely out of nowhere, and I think kind of all four gave a very good account for themselves. Especially, Guns and Maze, I think, has been maybe cooled down as a little bit as a team, and Youngblood is. I don't really know what they do with Youngblood. Seems a bit of an oversight considering the summer that Oscar maybe had. But
Yeah,
admittedly Yuto was injured, but it, it it's it seems interesting that Yuto, these two did take a loss against a team which is pretty cool anyway. But I don't know. You I think that this was probably my favourite of the night anyway.
yeah. I mean, you do get the feeling that Guns and Maze, at least ones they're trying to portray as the main favorites going in, maybe to the point where Cash and Hector will do this in our preview, in a couple of days. I strongly suspect Cash and Hector, they may be candidates for going out in the first nights, just the way things are being portrayed. But we'll talk about that on the next episode. Next up, we had a bit of a throwback to 2015 as the returning Avalanche Robert Dreisker beat Axel Fox in 4 minutes. What
This was a
never
very shotgun coded match.
yeah, I was going to say I've watched obviously a lot for 2015 to XW, and when Avalanche split from the Outsiders, he came back as Avalanche Robert Dreisker, and he beat rotation quite a bit on those town shows. So this felt very much like, hey, we've gone back 9 years a little bit, but perfectly fine. 4 minutes.
Yeah, it
Typical
was
spot.
decent. It was good squash. It was a good squash.
As Ripcord Spinebuster Avalanche won with, and I guess the main talk point come out of this, uh, that whole rematch with Lawrence Roman offered, and Avalanche wants that over Tiger Festival, which got some big questions. As we record, they haven't said when or where over Tiger Festival it's going to be. But that, I guess the obvious one would be that Saturday night becomes a freeway, and I don't know how I feel about that. But again, we'll talk about
I
that.
think it should do it at Inner Circle.
Ooh, obviously, I have one ticket left as we hit record, so I'll sell it.
Yeah, should do it at Inner Circle.
We'll heat up Gelsenkirchen more. Oh, God, I hope
Yeah.
it's not Sweatbox this year again. The main event, the European Championship, yet again defended against a Brit. Don't come at me, Wales. Aigle Blanc pinned Danny Jones in just under 20 minutes. Um, so
Perfectly
Danny
fine.
Jones,
Yeah.
yeah, perfect. I mean, this to me was like a close second to Ahura Manders for me in terms of match of the night. Only issue I had is because Danny Jones was, I say, quote unquote, replacement, or had like a week's so's notice. They did, to be fair, do a video, hyping him up. So it wasn't like, yeah, Mike DeVecchio wasn't here and here's Danny
Completely
Jones.
cold. Yeah.
They did try and heat him a bit. Um, they gave it time, which I'd say is brave considering he's only had one singles match in WXW, two if you count Ambition. Um, so yeah, I mean, it really good. I mean, I'd like to see this again somewhere, and I know Aigle Blanc is defending the belt around most of Europe against some opponents may not want to talk about, but he's having a good run so far. But I just wish we can get away from challenger du jour and actually have a storyline of it because
Yeah.
no, we'll talk about some of a Tag Festival preview. I suspect the shotgun belt may be getting a passport. So, you kind of
Possibly. Yeah.
want this to be more than just he's the challenge of the month. And granted, when you're doing one show a month, you can kind of get away with that, but you know, you don't want to have belts there just for the sake of this match. Well, to say it's a title match because you get the guys getting Eagles getting title defense under his belt, but at the end of the day, if it's just well, you had a good match against so and so and so and so, but you can't really point to anything outside of those isolated buckets, it's I would say meaningless, but it kind of loses some value as well. But so if I was Wheel of Wrestling 62 in Bielefeld, it had its moments. But that's it before Tag Festival. Like say, like we're saying at the top, you develop the main events. Your mid card's kind of there, but the undercard, the names are being slotted in all over the place. I think we know the calendar for this year, and we've talked about what's on the slate for next year, I really feel like next year they need to do something to try and develop that because your main event comes from mid card, your mid card comes
Yeah,
from your undercard, and if one falls off, it's like dominoes. I
yeah,
don't want to be doom and gloom, but it's a whole you've got to start building your tomorrows today, that kind of thing.
yeah. I think that they will always have the carrot crowd. That's never going to go away because I think the carrot itself does justify the attendance. I think for even if you've never watched WXW before, there's lots of people who've never watched WXW and they go to carrot because it justifies itself. But yeah, like you say, the other shows are just not hitting it at all for me. And me and you are very generous to WXW. I don't think that's an unfair thing to say. We're very generous. We're willing to give them time, but it's not. It's just not really going anywhere, is it? It's the main of it. The main title is languishing in the mid card at the minute. There's likelihood that one of the titles may be disappearing. The European title is kind of whoever gets the title, whoever gets the whoever gets sort of the challenger of the week, and it needs to get beyond that for sure because they really run the risk of it running away from them, and you don't want to lose the momentum because there's if only carrot matters, then why would you go to broken rules? Why would you go to you know shortcut to the top?
And
It doesn't really.
that's kind of problem.
Yeah,
I know Olivia, we kind of moaned this, like how I know we debunked this to some extent, but it felt like Oberhausen's was getting all the good stuff, all the big stuff, and everything else was like kind of building to Oberhausen, which is, I suppose it's fine for like, maybe Bielefeld, but if you're in Hamburg and
yeah, um,
you've kind of seen, oh well, it's only Oberhausen will get so yours, what I mean? And I will keep banging about, the Levaniel Oscar stuff.
yeah.
That was
That was a
malpractice.
that was an open goal, but he
Like,
put into the 15th row. That was
yeah,
terrible. Yeah,
you call an audible even because you're rematching a week later.
yeah.
You know, you do the title change. Okay, oh well, Oscar's gonna look weak. So what? You've got footage of him,
Send
turning really
Hamburg
off.
home. Send Hamburg home happy.
Yep. And when are they next to Hamburg? I know I've got this written down, but like they're doing Hamburg. When is it next? November for Broken Rules. And granted, that is effectively 2 months out. Okay, I will shut up. They're down to standing room only, so whether that's season tickets or what, but point stood, that it's a one off. But if you keep getting those one offs, you know, where I'm coming from. It's that whole thing of you had
Yeah,
the big open goal, and instead of an easy tap in, you know, you're now on Football Howl's bloopers DVDs. They're still making those.
yeah.
But
I,
anyway,
I
so few bits and pieces before we wrap up. So, of course, Tag Festival, we're going to be doing a preview podcast. I'll be dropping a couple of days after this. If you one of those who download this on day one, of course, it's a 12-team tournament. We know the last two qualifiers. Lycos Gym, they're the 10th team in it. So, got a first round draw. We will touch about it on the preview pod. If you're looking to watch, by the way, so it looks like you can be getting pretty much everything on either WXW Now or Triller TV Plus. Inner Circle VOD only. That'll only be on WXW Now. That'll probably be probably the Monday by the time we land back home. That'll be up on demand. Um, the free Tag Festival shows, Femme Fatale and the Extreme Wrestling Party, they'll be live both on Now and Triller. The only show that nobody has said anything yet about is the Progress Defy Noah show. That's on the Saturday afternoon. Although Progress is VODs, anything to go by, it'll be streaming live for free on Demand Progress. So just keep an eye out on the Twitters. If they don't promote it, then you know something's up. And as we record this, there's only 2 matches announced, so I've got a few concerns, but we'll see. And while we're talking about the Triller stuff, WXW's announced the remainder of this year at least, only the marquee events will be streamed there. So Wheel of Wrestling in Bielefeld wasn't there this past weekend. I believe Balkan in December. That's the next Wheel of Wrestling numbered show. That won't be up, but everything else will be a fan. Obviously, Tag Festival, the anniversary show, those will be streaming live on Triller, all willing. As for 2025, the return of the Carter, the season tickets. So we've got a bunch of dates for Oberhausen, Frankfurt, and Hamburg, and this kind of paints a picture where we're going next year, Mike. Well, not
A little
me,
bit,
but
yeah.
so January 18th, we've got Back to Roots. These are the Oberhausen Turbine Hall dates. Of course, we already know Carrot is on March 7th, 8th, and 9th. Those aren't in your season ticket, of course. June 14th, the to be announced show, I think was about Drive of Champions last few years.
Yeah,
Um,
usually, yeah.
It'll be something like that. August 16th, Shortcut for Top. The Autumn Festival will be September 26th, 27th, 28th, so avoiding Unification Day. They've again said it's the Autumn Festival without saying the concept, so they're once again teasing Catch Grand Prix or threatening us with it. Probably Tag Fest, but who knows. And then December 13th, the 25th anniversary show, which I'll say just because I'm a fan of round numbers, that one, being so early in December, that might be a goer.
Yeah, that's a lot more appealing than it has been in the last couple of years. And I we I was planning on doing 20. I think probably we all were, but then obviously COVID. It was just before COVID, wasn't it? So
No, 20. So 19th was just before COVID.
it was during COVID, wasn't it? Yeah.
Yes,
So obviously
20
it
was
was
the it was the
Volta.
Congress entrance. So that was like
Yeah,
the autumn 2021. I want to say.
yeah. So that was unfortunate. But yeah, 25. You hope you can get they. There's enough goodwill with a lot of companies that you'd hope that maybe some exciting people will be out for that. But hey, that's a year away. So
Yeah, this is 2025 being its problem.
yeah,
Hamburg, we've got 4 dates. February 22nd, Dead End 2025. May 23rd, a unannounced show. And November 21st, we've got the 25th anniversary tour stop. There's a
yeah.
fourth date at Hamburg. So those people marked Holler. There's a fourth date, November 22nd, also
The
25th
Grunspan,
anniversary tour. The Grunspan, which is that it's in
the other venue.
it's not Reeperbahn, but it's like standing room only one, which a very
Well,
say shotgun code. You said back in the day.
I've just noticed. Obviously, it's the 21st and the 22nd of November, so it's a weekend in
Yep.
Hamburg. That's quite interesting.
And I think the Grunspan is a lot smaller than the Marktal. So if you want to plan that far ahead, yeah,
Well, I
maybe
might
jump
chuck it in
in.
my calendar now.
Then last venue we do the Sister was Frankfurt, Batch Cup, April 5th, July 19th, and November 8th. November 1 is the 25th anniversary tour. April 5th, you'd guess the 16 Carat Gold Revenge. July 19th, maybe Wheel of Wrestling. No, that would have been the Wrestling EM this year, but probably another concept show, maybe Wheel of Wrestling. Who knows? But so as it stands now, 2 dozen dates on the books for next year. But we'll still seem to be sticking to the one big show every month or so outside the festivals. Um, if you're looking based on what's been announced, maybe Summer Powers between Frankfurt July 19th and Shortcut on August 16th, and then maybe not chucking a Bielefeld at the start of September for Tagfest. So, okay, at least you've got some rough idea if you kind of want to plan to stuff
It
outside the
does.
festivals. It makes it a damn side easier.
Yeah, I mean, just looking at the slate, it's a lot healthier than it was. Well, this year at least, anyway. So it's yeah, lots more shows and like we've sort of discovered this year, the more shows, the better the shows are, the better the
Yeah.
program is. So
Speaking of more shows, after they did the Wheel of Wrestling Wildcard stuff of Card Weekend, Ryan Clancy and Landon Hale are coming back in November. So they're both working the Magdeburg, Limbach, Oberfron, and Leipzig triple header weekender. None of those are making tape. No, last year all three did. They're going the other way this time. Uh, Plus Hamburg at the end of the month, so the Broken Rule show. Clancy, he's also doing Fan in Frankfurt at the start of the month. So if you're a fan of those guys, they'll be all over WXW in November. WXW added 2013's back catalogue onto WXW now, so yeah, I've got a hell of a lot of back watching to do. What it means is
haven't we all?
Bat Outsiders Hot and
Yeah,
Spicy match from November 2013 is available officially online. I know when that dropped, I
one
tweeted
of the
out.
great matches to ever take place in Europe.
Yeah, I know Stalin Farrell said it's probably the best tag match in WXW history, if not the best. And
Yeah,
I would dare say, move some of those qualifiers because I watched it again when that went up, and it holds up today. What's
Yeah.
nearly 11 years on. So hunt back down. That's Hamburg, November 2013. Obviously, it's in the drop. We also have on the other end of the scale, Slam Mania, the TLC match with Emil Satoshi and Bad Bones, that literally fell apart. So one that Satoshi just walked out on. Was it like the top rope fell apart and the ladders buckled, the tables didn't cooperate? You know, your standard Eurograps TLC match.
Yeah, bit of a mess, that one. I've not seen that one. We have to have a look at that.
Maybe that's our Corum's Christmas stocking after team up.
April Fools, maybe. I don't know.
And I see,
Yeah.
because I think now they're pretty much up to, I would say all the way up to, I think I know some like 2010, 11, 12 stuff. But I think they're pretty much up to scratch as far as like the full years that the old Vimeo service had now.
Well, like Vimeo went back to like 2007 though and stuff, didn't it?
But in terms of entire years, because obviously they would have had the
Yeah.
shotguns, they got pulled.
Yeah.
I know was that show they had, and the clacky keyboard of Doom's back. Apologies, but was that one show I remember years back, the Light Tube match, the Carsten Beck Zack Sabre Jr. match. I'm trying to look for the date of it. 2009, Directory Golf Fest 2. This would have been in, not Colchester, in Troisdorf. I probably butchered that. A single light tube match between Carsten Beck and Zack Sabre Jr. So that's
Oh,
all.
the single light tube. Yeah, now you
Yeah,
say it. Yeah.
which was an absolute right. Yeah, this absolutely was a COVID era watch. First month of COVID, Jesus. But yeah, this fun one to go back when it if and when it goes back 2009. So got a few more years of backfill to catch up. So um, yeah, Frankie. I know Frank Femm's apparently got the back catalogs. They'll go up, but slowly catch a monkey and all that. And end up this bit with, I guess, probably one of the more serious things. So
Yeah.
WXW announced that they're no longer going to be working with Tristan Archer. This was after allegations of abuse were made by Amal at the start of September. She posted a pretty lengthy statement revealing that they've been in a relationship, but it's pretty much involved to abuse, emotional. She stressed it was emotional abuse. I know she posted photos and people quickly took those out of context. I know she was pretty much retweeting, applying to pretty much everyone, but took it out of context. But still, emotional abuse is no better than
Yeah.
physical. Archcross had worked with WXW as a producer and agent as well as a wrestler. He'd been written out of storylines back in May, but that whole post shotgun blog was kind of painted as, I'll be back, who knows. Had been some chat with maybe returners coming up soon. Of course, that's now not the case. Promotions
Yeah.
across France, including APC, Banger Zone, and Rix, released a joint statement that confirmed they'd suspended both parties,
Yeah.
which didn't go down well. But so yeah, if
Kind of
you,
beggars belief, really. But
yeah, I mean,
yeah.
I know, and this isn't playing devil's advocate. Amal hadn't been booked by any of them, which just strongly emphasizes why did you feel the need to put it in the statement?
Well,
Like,
and Amal also said, like, there are no contracts in independent wrestling. You
no,
just
it's
don't book
all,
them. Yeah.
yeah, it's all freelancing stuff.
You can't
But
suspend someone who doesn't work for you.
which, yeah,
Yeah,
maybe
it's
more performative, but yeah,
yeah,
but
it's a very you know discuss the allegations, and obviously we send our support to Amal
yeah,
for
unconditional.
the the awful things she has experienced, and we just hope that French wrestling doesn't just roll over and let Tristan back in 6 months or something. That is obviously the hope. But
Yeah, I know that this past weekend, one of the promotions, I'm not going to name, you can dig up yourself, released like a delayed VOD of a match of him losing their title.
yes,
And if you look on
yes,
Cage Match, granted, it was delayed. I haven't seen it. I have no desire to see it. But it's the whole thing. If he's still going to air it after that fact,
yeah,
you know,
just cut it
maybe
out.
cut it out,
Yeah,
do it. That was been enough Phantom title changes. Do that, or was it? Heck, we saw it. Direct somebody themselves. Speaking out, Shotgun 2020. Grant was a tag match, and they were very fortunate. The finish didn't involve redacted name who they've never named, but there's only one of two, and you can probably figure out. But the fact that they just aired the free count and that was it.
Yeah,
Maybe you don't do that, but maybe they did. I haven't watched, but yeah, just a little bit, yeah, a little bit nervous just the way that the scene was handled. But like I say, full support from Al, and hopefully, whatever she said about losing
I
the
th-
bookings because of Tristan's actions
I think
is
it's
the upside of this.
the issue is obviously like uh, in the francophone scene, because obviously it does cover Belgium as well with Banger Zone or Body Zoy or whatever it is, Body Zoy slash
Two
Bang
separate
Zone.
companies, yeah.
Yeah, in the francophone, the issue is that um, Tristan is a central part of the scene, and I think the issue is probably going to be that France should just get on with it and move on and not use him. But we've seen with British wrestling, there's people who have been supposedly ousted from British wrestling who've not ousted. They're still working there. They're still working
This
there.
past weekend, again, not naming names,
Yeah,
got inducted to bloody Hall of Fame.
yeah. I don't even know who you're talking about with that one, but yeah. So yeah, we'll talk about that afterwards. But yeah, it's the ball is in the French scene's court. The joint statement doesn't fill me with hope, to be honest, but at least there is some semblance of a sensible decision with at least WXW not working with them anymore. But yeah, we'll
Time
yeah,
will tell.
obviously
Best
time
way
will
to
tell.
put it.
But obviously, yeah, we fully send our thoughts to Amal, and hopefully she'll be back if she wants to come back to the wrestling. Hopefully, she will be back when in her own time.
Yeah, and no easy way to make a step change, but upcoming, of course, got Tiger Festival. Preview will be up in a couple of days in terms of this podcast feed. After that, Wheel of Wrestling live, so non-taped, it'll be Huber Arena and Bad Sackingen. Keep an eye for Huber. Fan 2024, Batch Cap, Frankfurt, November 9th. Then uh, Wheel of Wrestling, these are all non-televised. November 15th for Factory in Magdeburg. November 16th for Stadthalle in Limbach, Oberfrohna. November 17th for Hellraiser in Leipzig. Broken Wheels 22, November 23rd in Marksville and Hamburg. That'll be streaming live. Then we skip forward a month. Wheel of Wrestling 63, the Stadthalle of Bennerhof in Borken. That's be streamed live on WXW now. And then the next night, December 21st, Turbine Hall Oberhausen, the WXW 24th anniversary show. That brings a pretty hectic end to 2024 after a pretty barren last few months. But Mike, guess if you listen to us for the first time, one, where the hell have you been? Two, make sure you subscribe. Like I say, the Tiger Festival preview will be dropping very soon on this feed. But in the meantime, where can we find you?
You can find me as Mike Kilby on everything. That's Mike Kilby. That's MikKilby.
Find me at Ian Wrestling on Twitter and Instagram, at Big Back Body Drop on Twitter, Back Body Drop on Instagram. We'll be having photos and what have you over Tiger Fest weekend. But that's all. Thanks a lot for joining us, Mike, and we'll see you very soon for the Tiger Festival preview. Cheers.